This is Cindy in a new wardrobe. Ooh.
Same day.
Same
I mean,
day.
different day.
Yeah, same day. And I'm wearing the same old gray shirt that Mark Zuckerberg
Actually,
sent me.
Different day.
Same day. So,
Different day.
it's the same day, guys. In this video, we are going to talk about...
Things that we like.
So, one thing that we
Records.
do, we've mentioned several times, is our vinyl records.
Collection.
We don't go to Target because I've noticed Target is now selling brand new vinyl records, and a lot of them are reissues of classic albums, and they want like $30 a pop, which is insane. We've mentioned several times before that we're extremely poor.
Not extremely important.
And we can't afford $30 a record.
But I think it's safe to say that vinyl is taking over our house.
No, it's not taking over. Very within the realm of control.
No,
It
it's
is.
not. But
It
we
is.
have pictures. We'll have pictures. We'll show you one day. You can be the judge.
Okay, so saying all that, we're on a...
Yeah.
So we were trying to acquire new records, and I say new records, new to us, old
Vintage,
issues.
yeah.
That were in the local area, in the local, like, we can drive down the street and pick them up, or we, local distance. So we use the Nextdoor app, and we've mentioned that in another video.
I'm sure they've watched that video.
Yeah,
So
please watch that video.
They understand that Nextdoor app thing and how useful it is for us.
Yeah, we use it. It's your local area. So we've posted on there and we said, hey guys, we're looking for old vinyl records, various genres, and we listed genres: blues, jazz, rock, psychedelic, country, pop. We really don't want your Tennessee Ford gospel records, Lawrence Welk. We don't want that.
Yeah.
And that's great. I'm sure your grandmother really loved those records. No, we don't want those. So we created a little post, and we said, hey, we're looking for this stuff. We're also looking for old gear, turntables, speakers, amplifiers,
Working
receivers. Yeah, working or not.
And we're not trying to resell it because everybody's like, are you trying to resell it? We're like, nope, we just want it for us.
We just hoard.
Not to resell.
It's cool projects to work on.
Yeah.
So we got a phone call, or not a phone call. We got a message
On the app.
on the app, and the lady was like, hey,
Yeah.
I have some hard rock on vinyl. Would you guys be interested? And we responded, and we said, sure.
Right.
And it turns out she lived probably a mile and a half away.
Yeah,
And
which
so
is awesome.
Yeah, we set up a day and a time, and we went there. And when we walked in,
Well, and just as an aside, I think it's important to note that if you're willing to reach out to someone that you want to sell something to, most likely you've thought about how much you would like to sell that thing to someone.
right.
Right? That's what we
Right.
think. So we definitely reached out. We connected, set up a time. We went over. She had a gigantic box of records, which this man was completely enthralled with, because
Well, I mean,
it
I
was
was
a lot of the
focused.
genres that we listened to. A lot of the things that we listen to are from the times when we grew up, or just even current stuff and old stuff, but not like he said, like the sick, like I don't know. So she had a great variety
And
of records.
it was hard rock.
And they were very well taken care of.
They were.
And they were in a box. And she even said to us, I've moved these, every time I've moved houses, I've moved this box of records.
Right.
I don't listen to them anymore. I don't even have anything to listen to them on. But I've just moved them with me.
Right.
So when she saw our message, she was like, hey, let me just reach out. And we looked at them and obviously thought that there were some good records in there that we could use to add to our collection, not to resell.
Right. So it's always great when someone's like, hey, I've had these for a long time. I've moved them around a lot. I haven't listened to them in years, but I'm ready to pass them on for someone else to enjoy.
Right.
That's great because we wanted to enjoy them. We listen to them while we cook. We listen to them while we...
Yeah, we have a setup right here. If you could see it.
You can't see it.
It'd be great. But it's our stereo speakers. And
Turntable.
Turntable. Okay, yeah.
Right.
Turntable. We play them all the time while we're in the house. And we don't... I mean, yeah. It's great.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
We
It's
like
really
that
cool.
sound.
Even though like every 15 minutes you're flipping that dude over.
Yeah.
So like if you're doing like hamburgers and you're like really mixing in the spices and then
Hey,
the
could you
thing
come flip
dies,
this
I mean you're
over?
literally minutes without
Please
any
come
kind of
help
music.
me. Please turn it over. Yeah.
So we go to this lady's house. She's like, hey, the records are there. We walk into the kitchen dining area and there's a huge box of records. And you can always tell if a record's going to be in good shape if the sleeve is put into the outer sleeve backwards so the record doesn't fall out. And all hers were like that. So I just quickly start going through to see what's there. And we're kind of early into our collection, you know, maybe 2 years or so. And there's a lot of stuff like Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd, a lot of Kiss albums, 13, 14 Kiss albums.
Oh, that's a lot.
I don't know. There were some other things in there too. There was a lot. There was like 100 to 150 records in
Do we
there.
listen to Kiss?
I mean, we'll put it on. There's some songs that, you know, everybody's familiar with.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I do listen to Kiss.
There's a
Never mind.
review for Kiss.
Yep.
So a lot of records. So I said, hey, this looks great. Do you have an idea what you want for them? And she says, you know, I never thought about that. Can you just make me an offer?
So you
And
could
I
have heard
said,
you could have heard a pin drop at that moment.
right. And so I was like, okay, this is odd. So here's the thing. It's very strategic. Like, we want to get a good deal, but we don't want to insult.
Right.
And so I don't know where to start, and I don't want to go too high. I don't know how willing to let these records go she is.
Well,
So
and I think it goes without saying, if you're going to try to sell something, you need to kind of have an idea of how much you want to sell it for. Like at least a ballpark.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like don't just go, I've never thought about that. I reached out to you because I want to sell them, but I've never, ever thought about how much I want to sell them for.
right.
So have that in mind.
I threw a price out there. And again, you want to be careful with not too low of an offer, but if you go too high and they're like, yeah, then you're like, shit, I should have offered less. I could have probably saved some money. So, and the more money we save, the more money we have for records and electronics and stuff like that, turntables and stuff. So I went in with an offer hoping that she would say, you know, I was kind of thinking a little more, which I guarantee you that's what she was thinking. And she said something like what? What was it?
Well, I haven't really even thought about what I wanted for them. So,
Yeah, right. So if I can think about it, I'll reach back out to you guys or
Right.
something like that. So she pretty much like shut the deal down right out of the gate. And I was kind of like, okay, do you want to talk about this? Do you want to go back and forth? And she was like, no, I'll just think about what you guys offer.
I think you even said, what were you thinking? And then, you know,
Yeah.
again, for the second time, she said, I don't really even think I had a. So, I think our point of this video is, you know, think about what you want
Yeah, it helps a lot,
for
especially
the
if
item
you're
you're
selling
selling before you bring somebody over to, like, try to buy this item.
something. Right.
So, unfortunately, though, he liked the records so much, and he felt like there were so many good records that we could add to our collection that he really wanted that. So we reached back out and said, hey, you know, hopefully we didn't insult you. Hopefully you'll still entertain, you know, we can negotiate here.
Right.
Right.
Right. That was the idea when we were there. I was hoping that we could kind of go back and forth, and we could come away with a deal where both parties are happy. So we did. We reached out because I started thinking about all the records that were there and thinking about how long would it take for us to go after certain albums, and the fact that they're all in one location and they could be bought for one price. That's really going to save us money in the long run and time, and we could focus on other albums. So we made an offer through the Nextdoor app. And
No, I think you went over it. Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And she said, yeah, that'll work. And then we set up another date because our schedule and her schedule were kind of conflicting several days. And then we went and got them. And so here's the thing is like
No,
once
he went and got them.
Yeah, so I went and got them. And here's the thing, when I went to get them, she like kind of had a scowl on her face, and her husband was there. And I walk in, and then she says, here's the thing. I said, here's my offer. I'd like to look at the actual vinyl to see what kind of condition it's in, because when we went that first time, she was like, hey guys, I got a meeting and just, shortly.
15 minutes.
Yeah, so I didn't really go through and pull out any records. I was just going through and just seeing the titles. That's what I do. I dig like this through the records.
Like a rat.
Like a rat.
Ugh.
And so I said, hey, here's the offer. I'd like to go through and look at the condition of the vinyl. And if it's good, then let's do that. And so that she said, okay. And so I went over there.
This time I went the first time.
Yes.
Again, with the awkwardness. The whole situation was awkward. The second time I didn't go. I was working. I don't know what I was doing. But
right. So I went over there. I started pulling them out, and I was looking, and honestly, like most of them, if you're record guys, I would say they were VG plus to maybe even near mint. Like they were in really good shape. Even the sleeve were in really good shape. The outer sleeve, no ring wear or anything like that. So she was like, "Hey, the records are still over there. I still feel like I'm being lowballed, or they're undervalued." That's what she said. I still feel like they're kind of undervalued. I spoke to a guy that I sold some equipment to about a year ago, and he said he was really interested in the records. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, are you selling the records? Did we come up with a price? What? So she was like, they're still over there. If you don't like the condition, then we'll just leave them. We'll just leave them there, and I'll just keep them, or something along those lines. And I'm like, this is so awkward.
But at the same time, like, if that guy who she sold this equipment to thought he was interested in them, why didn't he say, hey, I really am interested in these records?
Yeah. So I don't know. So anyway, so look, I looked at them. They all checked out. I was like, hey, here's the cash. And I loaded them up, and then I came home and I started going through them.
And you walked in and I said...
She was like...
Great.
I guess we bought some records.
Yes, we bought some
She was
records.
very ecstatic.
For a very... It's more than we normally spend. I'll just say this: it's
It
more
was
than
nothing. It was,
but it's more than we normally spend on a box of records. It really was.
We spent about 50 to 60 cents per record.
But there were a lot of records.
There was a lot of records, but I still feel like we got an extremely good deal. And here's the great thing about it is that when I was kind of going through them when we got home to see, and there was one in there that I didn't know what it was, and it was an EP. An EP meaning it was smaller than an LP. There was actually 4 songs on this record, but it was a 12-inch, and it was called Image. And I think it's like some kind of like heavy metal or something, metal
that
rock
we don't
or
really
something.
listen to.
A lot of like
Headbanger.
yeah, kind of. I'm not gonna say satanic, but kind of deep and dark. So I never played it, but I looked and I couldn't find the value. Well, finally, after tons of research, it turns out that they're kind of rare, and really you very rarely see one or two for sale at the same time. And so in the last one that had sold between $300 and $500, and this record was in great condition, and we actually still have it.
I was gonna say, have we sold that?
Nah, because we don't sell records. We just buy them and keep them.
We should
and then once
if
we
don't-
pass,
we
there's
should-
just going to be stacks of records.
No, but we
all
should
over the
definitely.
place.
If we don't listen to that and it's worth that much, we should definitely think about selling that.
We can sell it, and then we can just buy more records.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it was really cool. I mean, it was really cool, and look, it paid off in a big way. So, anyways,
So
that's kind of the
acquired
story.
It was an acquisition.
Yeah, it was. It was an acquisition.
An acquisition.
Yeah.
Acquisition.
Yeah.
Good deal.
All right. Okay, guys. So that's pretty much our story. We're gonna have.